Hey y'all, it's Kate with saltykatie.com. I thought I'd come on and film. I've been in my B6 Slim Jibun Techo for a little over a month now, and I thought I'd do a little update and show y'all how it's going. The cat is already here. His foot is just out of frame, so we'll see if he chooses to make an appearance or not. Okay, so this is, like I said, a B6 Slim. It's not even a wide. This is the white Saffiano leather. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. There's a little stain right here, but if I took a cloth, I could wipe it right off. That's what's good about Saffiano. So, what I wanted to show y'all, I have been working in this Jibun Techo for about a little over a month, and while I'm in here, let me mark this out. I have to mark these off or I'll be looking at the 2018 calendar thinking I'm looking at 2019. So let's see what I did as far as setup. I've got a color code, pen swatches to attempt to find a pen that wouldn't smear. No luck there. I've got some habit tracking happening here, which apparently I've not been filling that out. I abandoned December partway through because I hated the way it looked, so I stretched it out to one set of 4 squares per habit. We'll see how that goes. Okay, and then it's got the months, of course, the weeks in the back here. I've got my ever-present schedule. If you follow me, I talk about this a lot. I've got 2020 here. I did print some dot grid onto some of my sticker paper and cover up some of the subway maps because they're entirely useless for me. Like, here's what it normally looks like. So I've covered those up. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but it'll be there for me this year. So all that's great. There's plenty of space to set up all that stuff. Here's a monthly. So I worked the entire month of December in this planner, and my only complaint is that the actual month numbers are a little larger than I think they really need to be. Other than that, it's turned out to be super useful. Because all the little grids are so small, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 open lines in each monthly block, which I find plenty useful. It's enough space for me to keep my content calendar, my appointments, everything in this one monthly spread, which is really nice. And it's kind of good too that there are grids, because like you can see down along the bottom of every one of these days, I put in what I'm going to post on Instagram. And I also use a color code. So both the color and the placement of what I'm writing is useful, because I can look at it like at a glance. And then on the bottom here, I've been tracking my, what do you call that? My social media stats. So I've got that written out for the next several months. I've been using these little, mini sticky notes, and they're from the Jibun Techo brand. I'm enjoying those quite a bit because I can pull them on and off. Like, I was planning on releasing a leather that I call Lala in December, but it didn't end up happening. So I moved it down here. I can reposition it somewhere else. And here's January. So I've got it all set up for the month moving forward. I've got my YouTube videos on here, my books day. I've got any appointments on here, my Instagram posts, my goals on the right hand side. Yet another space down here to track my social media stats at the end of the month. It's working. It is what it seems to me to be as a part of this. You know, the way this month is laid out is working for me. There seems to be enough room. I can look at it and understand what's happening. I know it looks pretty crowded, but if you're going to keep your content calendar on paper, this is about the best you can get. I want to say, because you know, if you're a content producer, you are constantly posting. So what I do not stop in between either months or weeks to plan. Like, let me put that another way. I do not just go in and plan my whole next week on Sunday. If something comes up on a Tuesday, 2 weeks in advance, I go in and put it in there. It just makes better sense to me to keep planning so I don't stop, so I can make the next week pretty. That makes no sense, and it doesn't work in terms of functionality. So anything that I know that's going to happen on the coming months is already there. I have a books day every month. I've got some Facebook posts that happen every month. I've got new releases planned out. We're taking a cruise in March. Anything, and also birthdays, holidays, that kind of thing is already in here. So anything I know ahead of time, as soon as I know it, it goes in. And that's been just super helpful. Not to worry about if it's pretty or not, essentially. Super useful. So here's my sample week. They actually have a sample week in the front here. Let me show y'all. And I remember being super excited about it. Okay, here's the sample week that's totally blank in the front. But if you look at it, it's actually extended and it's missing all of this stuff down here at the bottom, which I actually use. So I didn't use this for the month of November, so I sacrificed one of the blank weeks, of which there are several, and set up my sample week. And so here's all my IG, Facebook, dinners, YouTube, the email that goes out, when I do lunch, when I do my Instagram posts, what day is my day off, what I do the other days of the week, my personal to-dos and my work to-dos, and then also track my my earnings on the weekly. So I set this up to be a time tracker because there are 24 hours and you can fit one entire week on one day of this unused weekly spread. So I made it almost the whole first week, then I kind of fell off right about Christmas. You know how the holidays are. Anyway, that's another way to use that unused weekly spreads is time track. Because I have sleep, work, cooking, housework, fun, if I'm sick, TV, washing my butt, errands, and lunch. And so you can, and then at the bottom I started kind of totaling up as well. So that might be a way to use unused weeks too. So in terms of my weekly layout, let's see, I started December the 3rd, it looks like. And I started out thinking I might use, because these pens, because they, wow, my words have just left me, smear, because every pen I could find smears. I thought, well, I'll start using colored pen. I hate colored pens, y'all. Let me take that back. I don't hate colored pens. I hate the way they look on a weekly spread. Anytime I have decided not to use my trusty black pen and tried to use some kind of colored pen, that does not work. I do not like the way it looks. So you can see at the top, instead of my black ink, I use blue ink up here. Production and shipping, production, class. I stopped that immediately. I just don't like it. And I've even done a little miniature habit tracker down here at the bottom, but I didn't keep doing that. I think it was a little bit overkill. But yeah, so there was the first week as I'm trying to kind of settle in and figure it out. Here's the next week. I end up with a fair amount of unused space here on some weeks, but it's there if I need it, and you'll see in coming weeks that I did use it. So of course, if you didn't know, it's a 24-hour day on each of the days, and it starts at midnight. And what I generally do is, if I know, let me see if I got a week that's coming in. If I know there's some kind of task, okay, on the 7th I've got to order from Vistaprint, so I went ahead and put that in there. If there's something I've got to get done that day, then I go ahead and put it at the very top. and then sort of after that is when I start time tracking, if that makes sense. Let's see. Okay, so on the second week, I started trying to do that thing where they show you in the front where you like put a square around it and then put the hash marks through it to mark off that's how much time it took, but I didn't really like that. This point, I don't know. I'm kind of medium on that. But you can see what I do. I just, whatever it is that I'm doing for that day, mark it out, say how much time it took. And then all my Instagram posts, Facebook, and then my little dinners are down there. I mark my days off. Yeah, it's been working really good. And like down here at the bottom, there's a little space with a little happy face, a little sort of meh face, and then a sad face. And if I get up feeling weird or funny or whatever, like this day I said I felt crappy. This day I said I feel anxious. This day I said I'm super weird and not focused today. If anything's sort of out of the normal in terms of my mood, then I'll mark it right there. That's been working pretty good too. Because I'm curious to see how often that kind of stuff happens. Like this week, apparently I didn't, no weirdo days, 2 weird days this week. So, oh, and here's an example of using some of that open space down at the bottom. My husband was on vacation and my mother-in-law was visiting. So there's space for that. And then sometimes if I've got deliveries or whatever, I'll put those down here because I really don't work or do anything past maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon, because by then I've been up since 3 in the morning and I'm done. I'm done working for the day, and it's time for the husband to come home and we do dinner together and watch TV, that kind of thing. So yeah, and it's all color coded, all by I do blue for work, gray for personal, pink for email, hot pink for YouTube, so I can see about everything in a glance. So here's me trying again with those little hash marks, and I decided by day 3 I was like, I don't like that, and I just marked out lunch right here. So here's today. I didn't have a plan set up for today because I've been pretty well busting ass. Y'all ordered so much jelly over the last several days until I've basically sewn my fingers off for the first 4 days of the week. And yeah, so I didn't put down anything super concrete today, which is Saturday the 5th. So yeah, you can kind of see how it's working. And like the second Saturday of every month is my books day, so I'll go on and put that down. I know when I get up that day, I'm doing books, and that's it until I'm finished with books, and then I'll move on to something else. And putting my work to-do list and personal to-do list over on the side has been working really well. Putting my money stats down on that corner has been working really well. This, I think, because you can fit so much in here, even though it's only a B6 slim size, there's plenty of space. It just seems to work really well. And I got onto this really because of the layout of the Passion Planner. The Passion Planner is also a vertical hourly layout. It's got a work to do, a personal to do, and then some extra space down at the bottom here. And that layout worked for me really, really well in 2018. And if you saw my Hot Mess Passion Planner setup videos, you saw what I went through trying to get my trying to get another Passion Planner set up for 2019. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and link the first one of those like up in the corner somewhere here in case you hadn't seen it, because my God, what a mess. You want to talk about frustrating. Anyway, so but the Passion Planner is an excellent planner, don't get me wrong, and I would recommend it to just about anybody, but it kind of showed me that I really like the vertical hourly layout. So yeah, I kind of took what I did in the Passion Planner and moved it into this, and it worked out great. So I could see because there ends up being so much room, because the lines are so small, you know, if you choose to write smaller, you can do just anything you want in here, just anything. And I have really, really, really been enjoying it. I mean, you can see by looking at these planner pages and listening to that crinkle, which is another thing I like about this planner, that I have just used the crap out of it and am continuing to use it. I can't wait to see what it looks like when I've got a full 6 months or a year in here, because I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So anyway, I would definitely recommend this if you are a busy person with a lot of commitments, if you've got a bunch of kids and they do a bunch of different stuff, if your husband or partner, significant other has a crazy schedule you have to keep up with, you have a crazy schedule you have to keep up with, you are trying to manage social media and you've got a crap ton of different posts and stuff that happen across a bunch of platforms, if you need to meal plan, if you need, good grief, this seems like it would be super duper functional if you're a person who needs to keep track of a lot of crap. If you're a shop owner, amen, sister, like, get after it, because it seems to be working really, really well for me. But I will say, if you've got big, huge handwriting and you're not willing to write smaller or try to write, because I got big old handwriting, but look, I mean, I ain't having no issue. So I don't know. I like it. I'm using the hell out of it, and I would definitely recommend it. You can get these on Amazon. There's actually, I'll drop a link to this planner down below. I haven't just, yeah, if you can't tell, I'm enjoying the crap out of it. I think getting in a planner and just like really, really, really laying everything out as far as you can take it into the future is really working for me this year. It feels that way anyway. I guess as the year progresses, we'll talk about it more, but it's super duper working for me and I'm really enjoying it. And this planner is a huge part of that. So yeah, can you tell I recommend it? Puddin recommends it. 5 out of 5 stars. Cat paws. So anyway, yeah, there's my little better than a month in flip. I may do another flip maybe halfway through the year to see how it's going at that point, to see if anything's changed, if my layout's changed, if how I'm using it's changed, I'll do that. And then hopefully again at the end of a full year, I'll flip before seeing what's going to be the planner jam in 2020. So yeah, this video is a lot longer than I meant it to be. Sorry. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you again real soon. Bye.